In this video, we're going to do story problems that deal with interest and two accounts. So I use a little tic-tac-toe like thing, and what I do is I have the first column is the first account, and then you got your second account. And you want to put in here the interest rate of your first account, interest rate of your second account, and then here is the amount invested in the first account, amount invested in the second account. And then over here would be the total interest earned for both accounts within the year. So let's try a story problem using this setup. So here we have George had a savings account earning 4.5% simple interest. He has $5,000 more invested in a certificate earning 6% simple interest. If his total interest for 1 year was $1,140, how much did he have invested in each account? Well, first off, in his first account, we know the interest is 4.5%. And we need to change this to a decimal. So we have to move the decimal over 2 spots to change it from a percent to a decimal. So in the first account, the interest would be 0.045. And the second account, we see a 6%. So again, if we change that to a decimal, 0.06. And now we need to know what the amount invested in both of them were. So in the first one, we don't know how much he had. It doesn't give us any idea, so we'll make that our variable. But the second account, it says he has $5,000 more invested in this account. So if we were to take the X plus 5,000, that would tell us how much is in his second account, because he has $5,000 more in the second account. So X plus 5,000 would be how much he has in this account. So once we find out what X is, we can find out how much he has in this account. And his total interest earned for 1 year was $1,140. So $1,140. So if we have to multiply straight down. So the first account, we want to multiply the interest times the amount invested. So if we multiply this, we'd end up with 0.045x. And then we're going to add it. And this one, we're going to multiply this times both pieces here. So 0.06 times x would just give us 0.06x plus 0.06 times 5,000 would give us 300. And that's going to equal our total interest, which is 1140. So now we just have an algebraic equation. So if we combine like terms, which would be these two, if we combine those together, we would end up with 0.105x plus 300 equals 1140. And then what we need to do is we need to get this by itself. So we need to get rid of the 300. So in order to do that, we just subtract 300 from both sides. Because what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So subtract 300. So now it's 0.105x equals, and this would be 840. And then in order to get rid of the 0.105, we just divide by 0.105 and divide this side by 0.105. Again, these are going to cancel. We'll be left with x equals 840 divided by 0.105, which equals 8,000. So we know that in his first account, because we solved for x, we know x is 8,000. So in his first account, we know he has invested $8,000. If we take the 8,000 and put it in place of X, so 8,000 plus 5,000, then in this account, we know he has $13,000. So that's how much he has in each account. 8,000 for the first account and 13,000 for the second account. So that's one setup for the story problem. Let's try a second story problem. Frank has a total of $12,500 invested in two accounts. One account pays 2% simple interest and the other pays 5% simple interest. If he earned $370 in 1 year, how much did he invest in each account? So again, we know that one account is 2%, so change that to a decimal, 0.02. The second account is 5%, so 0.05. And we know that he earned $370 in 1 year. So that goes, total interest earned goes there. And now, the amount invested, one of these we're going to make our variable. And we'll just make it the first one. So that's our X. This one, in order to find this one, it tells us the total amount he invested, which was $12,500. If we were to subtract how much we invested in the first account from this amount, that would give us the total in the second account. So what we do, because we don't know the first amount, so we just use the X. So we're going to take 12,500 and subtract X, because that's how much we have invested in the first account, from it, and that'll give us our total in the second account. So now what we want to do again is multiply straight down. So 0.02x, and we're going to add it to the second account. So we're going to take this, multiply it by both pieces here. So 0.05 times 12,500 is going to give us 625. 625. And then that would be subtracted by 0.05x, because 0.05 times x will give us 0.05x. And that's going to equal our total interest earned, which is $370. So again, we add like terms together. So 0.02x minus the 0.05x is going to give us a negative 0.03x plus 625, which equals 370. And then again, we need to get our variable by itself, so we're going to subtract the 625 from both sides. So minus 625 minus 625. So we'll end up with a negative 0.03x equals, and 370 minus 625 is going to give us a negative 255. And then what we need to do is divide by the negative 0.03, because we need to get rid of it, get x by itself, and divide each side by negative 0.03. So these will cancel, leaving us with x equals, and 255 divided by 0.03, it's going to give us 8,500. And remember, when you divide by two negatives, it'll give you a positive. So $8,500 is how much we have invested in the first account. So this would be $8,500. So to find out how much we have in the second account, because X is 8,500, we put 8,500 here and subtract it from 12,500, which is going to give us $4,000. So the first account is 8,500, the second account is 4,000. So that's how you set up, or how I set up the story problems for investments. I hope this helped. Thank you for watching.